Well, hi everyone. It's Barbara-Anne Foley, the Director of Harwich Council on Aging again. And with me today we have a really special guest. Her name is Kathie Marin, and you may know her as the chair yoga lady. But we have a new class that's going to be starting, a new program, and it's going to be on meditation. So I wanted to get Kathie in to tell you a little bit about what it is, what to expect, and when the classes will begin. So if you want to take advantage of them, you'll know. So Kathie, I know sometimes people think of Asian and Buddha and all kinds of connotations come to mind when people say meditation, most often breathing. But can you tell us a little bit more, what exactly is meditation?
I understand exactly what you are saying when sometimes people have a hesitancy and think perhaps meditation is a mind control,
right,
and controlled by things that you might not want to be controlled by. And I understand that because that is how I first perceived meditation. And it took me a long time. It took me a long time taking yoga and becoming present and learning to breathe deeply and to be present doing yoga to understand that meditation is about being in the present moment. We all can do things meditatively. Anytime you are really paying attention to what you're doing, it is a meditation. People that pray are meditating. They're going to a higher source and paying attention to the present moment instead of being scattered
rush.
and fragmented
Right.
as we are so much today.
I think especially our kids, it would be great someday if we could get a kids meditation group, I think, but I know that with our kind of harried lives, we find ourselves in kind of a robot mode, if you will. And I think for a lot of people, I'm sure there's many of you out there, myself included sometimes, that silence and complete quietness is a little uncomfortable. And
Yes.
so when you say, okay, well, I'm going to sign up for a meditation class, what am I going to get out of that other than being a little bit with a whole bunch of people that I don't know, being really quiet? I mean, there's got to be some benefits.
Well, that is my desire, that it can be beneficial to people. And the class is 50 minutes long, and we will be doing things just to explain the class a little bit so people understand. We won't just come in, people won't just come in and sit and be told to sit quietly for that amount of time. We will do breathing, some deep breathing together, learn to inhale and bring air all the way down and fill the diaphragm, as opposed to breathing in the chest area, which is the way most of us spend most of the time breathing. So we'll breathe. We'll move a little bit too, and it can be in a chair. We may stand, but anything that we do could also be done in a chair if somebody doesn't feel comfortable standing. We'll to just relax our bodies. We will spend several segments of maybe 5 to 10 minutes at a time meditating, and there will be some guidance as to what people might think about and what they might concentrate on during that time. So won't be left all to yourself to just fend for yourself. I'll talk about different types of meditations and go over different ways. We'll have some guided meditations. Some of the time I'll be talking, but some of the time we'll be quiet, but it will be shorter segments. It won't be the whole class. And at each class we'll have several opportunities to meditate and to hopefully to quiet the mind, quiet that constant chatter in the mind.
I've heard too that meditation another positive benefit, and hopefully we'll see from your class, is that it can lower people's blood pressure because you've taken that time to really quiet the mind, and the mind and the body obviously work in sync. So if somebody did have anxiety or stress or high blood pressure, might it be a good thing for them to try?
It certainly can be. People, I think a prerequisite for the class is a willingness to try. Right. Because it might be things a little bit different. But if someone has a willingness to try and not give up immediately, because meditation isn't something that typically people will just sit for 5 minutes and suddenly become enlightened and everything is wonderful. It takes time and it takes practice, continual practice. And some days it is just somewhat of a chore to sit quietly. But other days it's possible to feel a lot of peace and contentment by meditating. So my hope is that people will benefit from the class, and there are studies done now. There have been studies of all the physical benefits, right, like lowering blood pressure with meditation.
So with your background in yoga, my guess is that not transition, but the addition of meditation is because they do somewhat dovetail on each other. When you have the quiet movements in yoga, I know when I've taken yoga classes, especially at the very end, you often have a quiet, relaxing time where you quiet the mind and you quiet the body. And for many people in yoga, that's their favorite part. And they think, God, if you have to leave early, you may as well just forget it because you missed the quiet time. But I have to tell you, the first couple times that I did yoga myself, you're laying on a mat and you have kind of a guided imagery, and but we have Marianne Patz here, and that's the person that I was working with. And I said to her at the end of class, she talked about all the different thoughts that come into your head and go out of your head. Well, they never left. The first couple times I thought, I'm just not doing this right. Everybody else was, nice, quiet. There was actually even a person who sounded like they were snoring, actually. And I thought, I'm not doing it right. And there really isn't, if I'm not mistaken, a right or wrong. It's you and your body and what's right for you. And I think people, at least I know I learned myself, that over the course of time, you get to a comfortable place and you get to a ability to quiet the mind. But the first couple times I didn't and I couldn't. So when you say don't get discouraged, I think that's a really good, strong message to send to people. It is not a perfect art, if you will. It's something that just, you didn't learn to ride your bike on day one. You may not learn to meditate or be able to quiet yourself on day one either. But just to know that you're in good company and that there is no perfect position or perfect mode, I think is comforting to people. So was there a particular draw that brought you to meditation?
It was in the yoga class when I started yoga. And I too was always told when I was taking a yoga class that you never leave before relaxation. I mean, that's just pointless for coming. Yeah. And I didn't really get that for a long time. I always stayed because out of respect to the teacher, they expected you to stay, so I did. And over time, I realized how beneficial it was to me. And then over time, that became more and more beneficial to me. Not that the yoga and the yoga poses weren't beneficial, because they are a meditation. In a yoga class, you're being mindful. Meditation is being present in the moment and letting the moment unfold. And that's what we do in yoga. And so that started the process for me. And then after taking yoga from different instructors, I did take some breathing classes, which we all know how to breathe, but we don't all know how to breathe deeply and mindfully. So that really helped me. And then I realized that wow, there's something to this. And in my mindful yoga class, it's done sitting and standing. We have a meditation at the beginning of the class, and then a relaxation at the end of the class, and probably a little more emphasis is placed on that than in some other yoga classes. And I feel that that's important, and that students that have come to the class, I think those that have come and stayed, that has been beneficial to them also.
Absolutely. Well, we're very excited to have this class. Now, it begins in October, is that correct?
October 4th. I'm going to look at my notes to make sure I give the right dates. Starting October 4th. The first class will be really an introduction. And I'm inviting people to come. Anybody that thinks they might be interested, come, and we'll go through a regular class, and they'll see what it's about and see if it's for them at this point or not. And then, if people wish to come back, there are 3 more weeks, October 11th, 18th, and 25th, and it's here at the Harwich Community Center, and it's 5 to 5:50. So it's a relatively short amount of time. It will be a little less than an hour. And I did that. I questioned about how long to make the class, but I didn't want anybody to feel real intimidated by a long, an hour and a half of meditation. And we will be talking, and people will have an opportunity to share meditation experiences that they've had if they've meditated also. So that's how
And is
my
there
plan.
a fee for this program?
Yes, the first class is complimentary, is free to everybody to come and just see what it's about. And then if people are interested in coming back, the fee will be $24 for the last 3 classes.
Great, okay. One of the most exciting things, I think, is the time, because so many programs that we have at the community center here are fabulous, like Kathie's chair yoga, and it's almost all of them are during the course of a workday. So one of the really nice things is that Kathie is going to be doing this class at 5 o'clock, and that will allow everybody from seniors, you know, before it gets dark. We don't want everybody getting worried about driving home in the dark in the fall and winter time frame here. But it also allows working people. So you might even have, for example, a senior and their daughter, or working folks, husband and wife, or what have you. So it gives us a little more opportunity to invite a larger group of people. So we're really excited about it. I don't think there is probably one staff person that works for this town of Harwich that couldn't benefit from this. So I urge you, if you're watching, please come for the complimentary class and join us. And I just wanted to thank Kathie for doing this. We try at the community center to mesh or to dovetail programs onto each other, and we've got Kathie does a wonderful yoga program. Marianne Patz as well does a wonderful yoga program, and Marianne, as a outreach to some folks that have difficulty, has done a breathing class to teach people a proper, again, way to breathe. And dovetailing on that, we've now got meditation too. So I think we have the full complement, and I just wanted to thank her. So now you know all of what we're going to be doing. I hope you will join us. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you, Kathie, for doing this.
Thank you. Thank you, Barbara-Anne.
You're welcome.